Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge Aftershow today. Pamela's back, Jenna's here, and I, Dan, am here as well. And we're talking about The Challenge, Ride or Dies, episode 13, and it was called Blind Faith. However, I was like, this episode should be also have been called Don't Help Fessy. Like, why? Oh my God. And we'll get into it, but that was like the biggest takeaway. What are we doing here? It's ridiculous. Ladies, Pam, how are you? You clearly are back from your road trip. Jen and I were concerned. We talked about it last episode. People were blowing up in the chats about it. Not true, but could have been. Who knows? I have to read them again.
In their mind. In the discussions between themselves, they were blowing up.
My road trip was a 2-hour drive from LA back to Palm Springs. It just so happened that it timed poorly. So that's why I was on my road trip. I don't help Fessy is the biggest takeaway. Like, these people are not rookies. What? Devin, Jordan, like, what were they thinking? You know that, like, it can come down to seconds.
The best part is the rookie is the only one with the sense who didn't want to help the opponent. Horatio, I was feeling him the entire episode because he's standing there shaking his head. He's shaking his head at the end of the day when Mariah and Jordan kind of lose it all during that last holding challenge. And it's like, Horatio, he was the only one the entire time who kept saying, can we not help the enemy?
Well, he was the only one that we heard about, because do you remember who announced first to help? Do you remember who said help him? The first person, because I rewatched it multiple times.
Was it Tori?
It was not Tori. The first person they showed asking was Jenna. Do you want to make a guess?
I thought, I don't know. I know Jordan said, go ahead and help him.
Jordan was the second person they visually showed saying, yeah, just help him. Just help him. The first person was a female. Anybody want to guess who it was again?
Was it Amber?
It was Amber B. Of course it was Amber.
Amber.
Come on, Amber. What are we doing here? So she threw it out first. At least that's how they showed it on TV. That's all we can go by. And then Jordan also agreed with that notion. Like, yeah, just help the guy out. I'm Horatio. I'm all the way with Horatio. Let the dude sit there and puke his brains out. This dude has been a pain in the ass all season. What are y'all doing helping him? But
first of all,
pile on to the already Fessy hate train that we've kind of started conducting. It's Fessy, right? Who is the entire time talking about how he wants to prove it. He's never made it to a final. But then in this case, he's just getting a wrench thrown his way from the opposing team. And would Fessy ever do that for somebody else?
No way.
So why should he be the beneficiary?
He shouldn't. And he's so full of hubris that, like, he volunteered for this without knowing what it was because Jordan did.
It's an ego.
Jordan which is so dumb, because there could have been a big strength thing that they needed him for, and then it's left over.
You're right. I'm sorry. You're right, Pam. On that team, the guys could only go once. It was the other team. Right.
They didn't know what it was. He just acts without thinking, fully based on pride decisions. Like, for him, Mariah wanted Jordan, so for him, it's just all about beating Jordan. Like, that is Fessy's, be better than Jordan.
The episode prior, Jordan went back on his integrity and his word, his legacy, and voted Fessy in. So I think that's why I thought that there was enough kind of humor to that, because it felt like they were all in the spirit of competition, right? Like, Jordan's like, I'm going to do the target. And Fessy's like, well, I'm going to do it too, because Jordan's doing it.
Yeah, and I like that. That was his reason, though, right?
I don't. Not smart.
No, it doesn't. But for enjoyability as far as a viewer, I liked it just because his reasoning was because Jordan's doing it. There wasn't a good reason behind it. I want to compete against Jordan because we're both these manly men that always want to prove that we're the best. And here's a fun conspiracy that I don't even think is true, but they added the drinking element to it just to piss off Fessy after he had volunteered. Because that drinking element made that target thing so much. The challenge of the day was actually really good. The 4 different parts, the mini game aspect, whatever we want to call it. Great challenge of the day. Probably like the only thing I really liked in the entire episode was the challenge.
Also, one of the biggest points of this whole Fessy Jordan target game and helping Fessy is Devin truly the only person that could break this game? Like, he was the only person there that could figure it out. It was actually comedic. Like, to see people tried to play the game themselves, and a bunch of people in the stands who are able to help them. But for some reason, it was only Devin. Like, I could not believe when they said, Devin, just help him, just help him. It's like, is he really going to make
Give
it
him
right
the
now?
answers.
Just
right, like just yell out the answers. Yeah.
Now
I
ladies,
don't know what Devin was able to
they
see
made
or
it
how
seem,
it was.
they made it seem in the edit that literally every time Devin opened his mouth and said, aim this way, they got a hit on that target. I don't know if that's 100% true, but there's definitely some truth to it, because the other team was like, Devin, or the same team, they were like, Devin, help him too, just like you already helped Jordan. So clearly whatever Devin was doing was working. And I'll say this, Devin's biggest strength in this house, strength, if you want to call it, is his brain. Thank you, Pam. 100%, because he's always not the strongest dude, but there's something with the way that Devin's mind works that is just made for the challenge. And these dumb little games and this politicking and all that stuff combined, Devin's brain works well with all this.
It was like laughable in an amazing way, in an awe-inspired way, to think like, seriously, is he really the only person who is able to help out and break this game?
Apparently,
that's the way they made it look, right? They made it look that way.
Well, if you guys remember when Jordan and Anissa were still ride or dies, and they had the target ball elimination, and Jordan crushed it. So I was thinking, Jordan needs no help with these sort of target things. Like, he was throwing those balls. Now, when they had the elimination, remember, Dan, when it was the block?
Oh, dodgeball, yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan did exceptionally well on that. And then on this, it seemed like it was really far away, first of all. A slingshot leaves a lot for error, but I don't understand how Devin, from a different vantage point, was able to.
They were, so what was
happening? I don't understand how he could.
No, that's what I mean.
This is what I think happened, ladies. I'll break it down. Every time they launched one, it was going too high. And then they had to drink that awful substance, which totally threw off their, if they could go aim and then right away aim again, they could easily adjust. But to have to drink that drink, you're puking, your head's all over the place, and then have to go back to adjusting again, they just kept aiming too high. They could never get it down because of that drink they had to do. So Devin is just waiting there like, okay, I know you had it like this before. Now I'm going to tell you, because I'm on the side. He's getting a side view. I'm going to tell you to do it like this instead. That's all it was.
Okay,
I think that's what happened.
How does Devin remember exactly where it was held before the drink? Like,
again,
it's still pretty remarkable.
Again, I think it was very remarkable, but at the same time, I think from Devin's vantage point, I think I would have been able to help them out as well. Like, dude, just tilt it. But again, no one else was helping. Pam, is it raining out in Palm Springs where you are, by the way? Because it is pouring out, and it never pours in LA. We have a rainy day in LA. It's insane right now how much rain.
It was pouring in LA almost every day.
I know, it's been awful. Awful this week.
It was great. It was beautiful because it was emptied out city, and then there were days where it was just like a light drizzle, but no one was at the things. Like, we went to the zoo, and
not to go way off this topic here too, but I just love being able to, like, I have a reason to not do anything today. It's like, well, I can't, it's pouring buckets out. You can't, what am I going to go do? Everything's outdoors in LA. Like outdoor malls, everything.
I want to punch both of you in the face.
Because it's raining?
Because, oh my God, I don't have to go outside today. I have an excuse not to do anything.
Look,
the amount of gloom and doom that has been over New Jersey the past few months of rain and clouds and the gray beast of February and January in the winter. It's just like, shut up.
Jenna, I lived in Massachusetts on a lake till I was 25. So I know about this weather, and it's awful.
And it's so gloomy.
What a benefit being in LA now.
So I'm glad you get your little taste, Dan.
Well, I used to talk about that. I would say from January until March, I had, like, as a kid, I remember like being inside and never being able to leave the inside of the house and being like, feeling that we're like, am I depressed right now? I haven't left the house in 7 days. Like, I remember feeling that feeling as a kid.
So you know what? No, you're right. I should go punch my husband for making me move home. It's not you two.
You were in LA with us. I remember.
I was there for the reason I wanted to be there. Let me go. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Come back. Oh, she's really going. No, she's really going.
Yeah. No. I agree though.
Carter,
how do you feel about the weather today? Okay. Yeah,
Carter feels good about it because he likes to cuddle too and just.
Oh, he's a cuddler, man.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go too far.
All right. Anyways, back to the show here. Targets. They were throwing him way too high. Ladies, any other thoughts on that portion of the
wish
challenge?
they didn't help Fessy. Boo,
Right.
Fessy. And Fessy, just the biggest baby. Anyone that like, Jordan, you say you're and you went back on your word. Anyone that doesn't do support Fessy is bad and mean to Fessy. Yeah, it's like, no, Fessy. Everyone's playing their own game. It's not, well, Mariah's not my ride or die if she wants someone on her team. It's like, what, you jerk? He's a big jerk. Yeah.
Yeah. One of my bigger surprises is not that Jordan was bad at the target because he was good at dodgeball, because I think that they're entirely different games. It's more like Jordan has been around the block too many times to continue to keep kind of failing at this game and not adjusting and not fixing his strategy. With Fessy, no offense to Fessy, I'm not all that surprised that he couldn't get his shit together.
Yeah.
But with Jordan, that actually was surprising to me, that he
Yeah.
so heavily needed the help of a teammate. But to Devin's point, it's like, I don't know, the way maybe I could compare it is trying to play one of those crane games when you're at an amusement park or you're at the arcade, and you need your vantage point, but then you also need your friend who's on the side.
Always cheating on the side of the glass. Yeah.
Yes, on the other side of the glass. So Devin having a different perspective, I think that is what gave them the edge, and was able to help Jordan. And probably from drinking all of that, you're mentally checked out. You need to lean on somebody. But I was a bit surprised that Jordan, for somebody so seasoned in the game, was having such a struggle with it.
I'm just shocked they didn't know to aim lower after they kept seeing them whizzing over the top of it wasn't like a wide target. It looked like it was like a tall target, and you're still going high. Aim at the goddamn dirt at this point and just see if that makes a difference. Not one went low. They all were going high, left, right, everywhere. Like, aim low, like extra low. And I'm surprised that Jordan, he's a really smart dude, did not adjust to that like you just said, Jenna. I'm shocked, actually.
Yeah. I mean, the consistency is hard when you're doing something you don't do a lot. Like, every time I bowl, one time is a strike, I'm like, I'm amazing at this.
Right,
next time, completely down the lane. And it's like, how can you go from a strike to a gutter? How do you do that in the snap of a finger? And you can't continue to like learn the consistency of it. I don't know. Our brains just shut off sometimes.
Yeah.
And they see, it's like, why is that everything going to the right? I feel like I was doing it more to the left. Like, it's like, yeah, it's frustrating.
I loved the way they set up this challenge, though, by choosing it off the picture, because I was thinking, ooh, this could go really wrong. If you see a picture of something, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be this type of race or event, and it ends up being the complete opposite. The puzzle one was a little bit too literal and obvious for me. Obviously, there needs to be a puzzle. I get it, but I was kind of hoping, they picked Anissa and Olivia, and this is to no offense to them, but I thought it would be funny if something was like a lot more endurance heavy. I'm like, what if this wasn't even a puzzle game at all? And they did have to carry puzzle pieces. But before I saw that they had to do that, I was thinking, what if this was just like an all out race with things that look like puzzle pieces? And it's just like an absolute endurance foot race. I think that would have been funny if they didn't make sense as literal as their symbol.
All the symbols were pretty literal. The first symbol was a target, and it ended up being like a target practice. The second one, like you just said, Jenna, was a puzzle piece. They got that. The third one was a light bulb, which we all thought, okay, that's memory game. And then the last one was the only one that was like way whatever. It was a person running. So they thought maybe it was like an endurance thing, but it ended up being like, which it was, I guess, but it was a bungee form of endurance. It wasn't like you're just running for hours. And the bungee game we've seen before a bunch of times on this show, and I like it a lot. I think it takes a lot to do that challenge. I'm glad they keep bringing it back, and they're trying to make it. I don't know if they're trying to make it like a regular thing, like a pole wrestle or a brawl hall or whatever the hell they want to call it. But the bungee thing I think is fun. But we'll talk more about this puzzle one. It was Anissa and Olivia versus Devin and Nani, and the element that was a surprise, like you said, was carrying the puzzle piece. I thought that was a nice twist, just like the drinking thing with the target. Now they have to carry. Like I said, this is the only part of the show that I actually liked tonight. And we'll get into all the stuff I didn't like, but I'm glad we're starting off on a positive note here. And the puzzle was cool. Those pieces look somewhat heavy. That's a challenge. You're using one of the 5 assets. You're using strength now as well as a puzzle solver thing. And I couldn't figure that damn thing out to save my life, but I'm glad that they did. And I thought it looked pretty close. And look, what I liked about this challenge, they kept showing the time. They weren't effing with our brains. Like, this is really what the time was, and I believe that's what the time was as well. I believe this is actually what happened. and I believe there wasn't as much like producer influence as there are in other challenges. This actually seemed legit to me. I was very happy to see it.
Me too. I like that. It's like, ooh, it's neck and neck. Ooh, they've got such a lead. It makes it so much more compelling as the viewer to sort of be invested in it. Then like, we don't know. And then at the end, they'll tell us. Right. And it's like, well, you couldn't tell. It wasn't tense. Did it matter that they helped Fessy? Like with this, it really did help. The puzzle,
this was a good episode because I truly felt like from start to finish, it was just humans being humans. Like, I feel like it came across as more exciting and being neck and neck because it was, you know, like everything actually really was, and it didn't take the slow dramatic transitions and the pans to kind of play around with you. It just actually was exciting, and it was fun too because it felt like a field day, like in high school, right? You
a classic field day. Love
cheering for each other. Like the energy was there, and it was our phone test. I never wanted to pick up my phone because I was totally locked into the competition.
Oh, we did not touch my phone. In fact, I think it was in the other room.
Nice.
I didn't look at it. I was super into it. No, don't worry. I have some negative stuff to say, not about the challenge. But,
not about the challenge.
Not about the challenge. But MTV based, funny.
Good. Oh, great. There we go.
Yeah.
I loved Anissa and Olivia working together. I thought it was so funny because it was a little bit
Olivia
chaotic.
Working and Anissa commanding.
Yes, and Fessy, you have to give him the credit where it's due in terms of his commentary, being like, Anissa's really putting Olivia to work. Like Anissa's commanding and Olivia's doing all the heavy lifting, and it was really funny to watch.
Secret MVP awards I'd like to give to Devin for obvious reasons of saving everyone, and Olivia. Like I never think of her as much of a physical competitor just because she's so pretty. I don't know. I just don't think of her as like, but she is a bit of a beast. Like she's good. She's been through 4, I think, in this series, Eliminations, her and Horacio. Haven't they been 4?
They did at least 2. I don't know if they did 4, but they were in 2 or maybe a third one. But remember on a couple of those, the house wanted what's his face out. Turbo, so they really helped. I mean,
they had help, but I think they
had a lot of help.
A lot, and they've done
They had
a lot of help. But she's good. I'd like to see her back. She's a good rookie.
Yeah.
She's also on the strong team right now, though. So like any of her weaknesses.
In that,
fair enough. But she also had Anissa next to her, the puzzle queen. Like, I mean, I think I would do okay in a puzzle if I had Anissa next to me. Just saying.
I mean, I don't think Olivia should be slept on at all. She's a hard worker.
I think she's fine. I don't think she's like a bad rookie. I think there's plenty of people that perform worse. I don't think she's at the hype that you two are giving her right now, or at least Pamela is. I don't know if it's warranted, but she's okay. She's fine.
Well,
she's there.
What I like about her. I like that she just puts her head down. She's in it for the game. I feel like she works really hard. She doesn't complain. She's just like, I'm ready for this. Let me go do what I got to do.
Agreed. I do like that. It's like Nelson left. That's a bummer. When this is over, I'll see him. Let's win. Like she's
all that's great. I want to see her in an elimination by herself without a partner, stuff like that. Having to do things like on her own 100%, like a Nani versus Mariah tonight. Holy hell. I mean, you are on your own. It's up to you. You cannot rely on anybody. They couldn't even rely on the people in the stands tonight. They couldn't freaking try. They were trying to cheat with them. They couldn't. They couldn't cheat tonight. The thing would go down before they could see what the hell was going on.
I have some tea on this. We'll save it. That's my
tea. Good tea for later. That's a
tease. So I'm teasing that for you guys to stick around and listen to our elimination.
And let's not forget about this tease. Like we forgot about me naming my ride or die Disney character, which we wrote in the comment section. I wrote it in like the thing that I said the magic carpet would be my ride or die. Because I mean the magic carpet is like awesome. Like you could get away, you could fly, all this good stuff. And then I said Abu would be my second one, but he's just
so then it still kind of works, right? We never said, did we say when we were going to reveal it? I think
yeah.
Well, 2 episodes later, it's revealed. Still counts.
How about this then, ladies? Ladies, why don't you think of your ride or die Disney characters and you tell me at the end of this episode, and I won't forget to ask you about it.
Dan, I don't know if the magic carpet is like a mode of transportation. It's not a person. I feel like you can't
it said Disney character though. I could have picked any character. That's a character on
Disney. It's like an inanimate object. I know it has a personality and can wipe its forehead and stuff, but like I think you need a sentient being to be.
Do you really? I really, when it said Disney character, I thought anything goes. You didn't say Disney human character.
Maybe like the lamp. Like, I'll take the lamp. It's like the genie.
No, but that's the genie though. That's not the no. See,
Right,
now we're
but
gonna
I'm
get
saying same with the
technicalities.
carpet. It's like, oh, I'll take the invisible jet. Like, you have to take Wonder Woman.
I
You can't just
also,
take
No.
the person who asked the question, what I actually meant
Oh.
was
Right.
Disney.
So none of this matters now, Pamela. It's a
Oh,
whole
you're
different
wrong.
question.
But it's my fault. I didn't articulate it correctly enough, I guess. It's up to interpretation. I meant like, who was your favorite Disney ride or die characters to watch?
Oh.
Like, favorite duo.
Oh wow, this is way different than what I thought.
Way
Then
different. Yeah. So like, is this Disney? Like a Woody and Buzz, right? Like they're a
Sure.
ride or die
they're
pair.
it's Pixar technically, but Disney basically owns them. Yeah, so that would work in theory, sure. Okay, well now why don't we all think of that then before the end of the episode?
Oh,
Because
mine's Timon and Pumbaa then are my favorite ride or die.
That's cute.
that's a good
I like
ride or
that.
die. Those are good ride or dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
Okay.
mean, I really, honestly, I think Aladdin and Abu are amazing ride or dies. Like they're there for each other.
Yeah.
When they got nothing, but they're trying to find food every day. I mean, they're at the, they're on the low end of just trying to survive. So they're ride or dies for
Yeah,
sure.
they gotta keep one step ahead of the henchmen. I think
Sure.
you should be impressed with my knowledge of every Disney lyric from
That's
the
amazing.
late 90s. Yeah, mid to late 90s.
All right.
That
Wow.
really
Okay.
won't
So let's
matter.
remember to ask Jenna. What are we asking at the end of this episode? We do a tease. Jenna has a tease for us
The
about something.
TTs about
I'm going to tell you my MTV new obsy that it's funny, and Dan, you have to come up with your observation on an MTV show that's negative, since I'll be.
Oh, what is that? I wonder, Pamela. Interesting.
Oh my God. If you look at your watch history on your DVR, you might see what I dove into yesterday deep and was like,
Man,
these
everyone
people
just man, I'm glad I pay that $70 a month for my direct TV stream.
I used yours as well yesterday.
I
Third
used
part,
yours for like 10 hours yesterday watching what we will discuss after.
oh my God. All right.
10
Third
hours
part
might be
is the memory game. Tori and Bananas versus Amber and Horacio. Amber and Horacio kicking some ass, taking some names. Now that's Horacio, rookie. That's someone I can get behind. This dude comes to play. Olivia tried to throw some shade in the confessional area. Oh, he gets nervous. He doesn't get nervous at this stuff. It's all his hype.
I don't know what she's
They're hyping
talking
it
about.
up.
He says
Yeah.
it every episode.
It's all
So
garbage,
what are you
though,
talking
Jenna, right?
And he
about? Like,
cracks under pressure. It's like he's always
fine.
under pressure and he never cracks.
It's
He's
I don't know
always
where
good.
that comment's coming from.
Not even that,
yeah, make it make sense.
but he came up with the strategy that it seemed like made them win, where he came up with a motion for each picture, like heart, cross,
Yeah.
star,
I just think
knife.
it's like if I'm there, I'm saying work from the bottom left and then just keep going up. It's like reading a book, but just from bottom to top. They nailed it. They nailed what to do. Great teamwork. I was very impressed. And Olivia, again, and maybe a reason I'm so upset with her, like she's not that great of a rookie. What is this lie that she's made? Horatio cracks under pressure.
I know.
What are you talking about? I don't.
I also have a note written down that just says Horatio cute.
Who does?
Because he is cute.
Because
oh, you
it's
have
so
that
funny
written
that
down?
like a charming person does something very normal and ordinary. I'm just like, oh, they're so cute. Like the way he was explaining the chain links, and
Oh yeah, he did
did this. I was
Well,
like,
he made up
Horatio
symbols.
cute.
That's why they
Horatio
won.
cute. Yeah, I thought it was cute. He was like, okay, so they're like this. The chains are like this. I'm like, beautiful, cute, Horatio cute.
But that's why they won. So it wasn't just that he was doing cute movements. He was saying, this means chain, this means heart. Like, come back and show me.
No,
these
Pamela,
symbols.
he's just cute all the time. That's all he is.
He
But
is
that's
cute.
what I mean.
It
It's
was
like
a
the
strategy.
thing in and of itself, the act isn't cute. But just because he is a charming fella and he did that, it's automatically cute now.
It is cute. He's cute. He's smart. He's really, I think, proved himself. I don't know where this rumor that he cracks under the pressure that Olivia's trying to start is, but he's been in a million eliminations. He's won them all.
I think it was a comment from like the first episode of the first elimination they were in. She made one comment. And then I don't know if they just keep reusing the same line. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but there was maybe a moment where he was nervous. Oh, I don't know. He's a rookie going into his first elimination. I think that that's warranted and allowed. It's okay. That doesn't mean he cracks under pressure. There's a big difference here. Any of us would be nervous going into our first elimination.
I would say the opposite, because he was the one who had the wherewithal to critique his team for wanting to help the competition, so if anything, he's the one like thinking long game and not getting stuck in the moment, just wanting it to get over with.
It's just so weird. Like, you put Fessy into an elimination last week, Jordan, right? You didn't get what you wanted. He obviously came back. Now you got him again in a position where this dude does not know what the hell's going on. Let him be.
Yeah.
Don't touch the
implode.
situation.
Let
So
himself
weird to
implode,
me.
exactly.
Well, that's my biggest. Do you guys think, moving on to the next one, with where, you know, the one where with Jordan and
The
Mariah.
Bungee.
Yeah, moving on to the Bungee one. Do you think it would have made a difference? Do you think the way Jordan and Mariah were physically, that they just never would have gotten it done?
That's true.
Do
They might have
you
just got
think-
DQ'd, right?
That's what my
right.
question
The
is. Do you
thing
think
is,
it?
I think
like,
it was worth them trying to figure out. You know, I think potentially
Sure.
yes, because we don't know how much longer Fessy would have gone. What if
Yeah.
Fessy went for another 45 minutes?
Right.
Right.
Maybe Jordan and Mariah do get the hang of it.
They,
in
and by the
40
way,
minutes.
they almost had it at one point, but Mariah just couldn't hang on. She
Hang
could have.
on.
Now, what I was hoping she would do was come up with a different grip style. I get that she's at the bottom at the look, but maybe if she went onto the side somehow and gripped around, I don't know, a different way. And maybe, like you said, Jenna, if it had 40 more minutes, because Fessy couldn't do that other one, that they may have figured that out, because they almost had it, even with her just gripping like this. So, yeah.
Right. If they just let Fessy continue doing that for 2 hours until they timed out, possibly it would have. I don't know. That's the
But
big
then again,
what
it
if.
makes
Like,
zero
I
sense. If
don't
that's
know.
the first game and he times out on the first game, how do you play the other 3 games? It's like, didn't he kind of have to finish it? And like, the only reason they told the other team to stop, what if the Bungee game was first? Would they have Jordan and Mariah still doing it to this day right now? Like, how can you time out on the first game? How do the times work in that way? Like, or I don't think they did it this way, but did they just mix up the orders? So that was the Bungee really wasn't, but it seemed like the Bungee was definitely the last one because it was dark outside. So I think they did go in that order that they should. It's weird to think.
I don't know.
How
This
does a
is
timed out?
another-
How does a timed out mini game work in this type of challenge? It doesn't. You have to finish it. It only worked out that the Bungee one was the last one. So like, all right, you timed out because you went over the time of the other team. It's interesting to think about, though.
It
I
is.
often think about the production of it too, because I wonder if they swapped out a crew, right? Because we see it get dark, or you know, they have to take like a lunch break, right? They have to set up the competitions, they have to get like all the logistics and stuff in place. So they're there until the sun is setting, but it's probably because the whole day in and of itself,
Right.
there's so much that
They
have
totally
to do.
took a dinner break around 5 or something, and then they just went back at 6 or 7. They did that last one or something. You know, they definitely took a late lunch or even a lunch break and then
But
did that one after.
Sorry, I guess what I mean is like for the authenticity of the competition, I don't know if they do like switch out crews or anything, but because they can only pay people for so long, I think you can only work certain hours, or I don't know, maybe they're
Well, they
getting
do
overtime.
12 hours. Well, in theory, they can do a 12-hour day, Jenna, but then they get paid the overtime.
Well,
so.
Yeah, because remember a lot of people in the CBS competition said that basically like the crew had to go. So, you know, that's why they were having like Tyson and all the people who were in the snow trying to do the Sudoku kind of end it. You know, I would hope that, I don't know how much money they're making, if they could have like multiple crews subbing in and out that way, they wouldn't have to try to cut a Fessy short, right? Or cut a game short. Like if it has to go for hours, then maybe it has to go for hours for the authenticity of the game. But I don't know if
Again, this show
that
is
way.
not as authentic as it probably used to be.
Well, we know that it was only like 3 hours on the clock of competition, so that could have very well been done. And I mean, anyway, I don't know. It's something that I'm curious about listening to, an actual insider thing, to hear them talk about it. Like, what would have happened? Does Jordan and Mariah feel cheated or no? Like, do they think they could have won? I wonder where that comes down to her, if it just really was not for them and a bummer. But if they timed out and Fessy timed out, would it have been, you know, they're not going to make them do it forever. Obviously, it's like at a certain point, you're just going to call it. So,
and they probably, those are things they probably have to figure out at the moment. Like, hey, they've been doing this for 2 hours. I know it matters timing wise, but like, what if we just give them the biggest DQ we can, 120 minutes, whatever it is, and then they're obviously most likely going to lose. We have to put a time on this game. If the Bungee game was like the third one on the out of the 4 or something, like we'll give them the biggest DQ we can possibly do. And sorry guys, if it is what it is, but we need to move
I'm
on.
surprised. They shouldn't have helped Fessy. They know how crucial it was for them to win. It was a rookie move. It was a rookie mistake, and I'm really disappointed that
supposedly Amber B's the first one that spoke. That's what they showed on camera. So just something to think about with Amber B.
She's nice. Who listens to Amber B though? No one. So like that's not what caused it. When Jordan
said it too. I know.
I guess he felt bad. I bet he felt bad for voting. Maybe he felt like I'll throw him a bone. I voted him in, but
if you're Chauncey in the Bungee game, do you actually try? Because I'm sorry, but I know this game is ride or dies, and I know that they're not together anymore. But in the back of your head, even all these competitors must think, well, this season's called Ride. Isn't that at some point we're all gonna somehow either have to work together again with our ride or dies? Like they must be thinking that a little bit. Maybe just because we know behind the scenes that the ride or dies are staying, that we think this more. But like, if Chauncey doesn't try, he guarantees that Amber stays this next round because it's a female elimination, and then one of his 4 girls go home because who does he care? He doesn't care about them in theory. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there as a thought.
I agree logically. I think when you are a competitor, as Tori said, when that whistle blows, when it's like, why'd you try? When Devin was mad at her for trying, since it's like when that whistle blows and you're a competitor, you compete. Like someone that's like that, like maybe Chauncey that.
But no one. My point is, if Chauncey like tried but never could get to Casey, like he would never have to tell his teammates that he actually lost it. Like they think he was still like pro them, but he was also secretly helping his girl out, guaranteeing her not have to go in. There's only 3 girls on that team. Like Chauncey physically winning that on purpose, he's almost guaranteed. It's a 33% chance you don't go into elimination.
I feel like
that's insane that he did that in theory.
But not show off, but like do your bet. Like it's like I don't know.
My point is he could have made it look like he was trying, because that game is hard to beat anyways, and then just say sorry, I can't get there. And they would never have known that he was saving Amber. And then he could have done a cool confessional. Hey, I honestly, like, you might not believe this, but I was not giving it my all because you know what? My ride or die is still Amber. And the audience, us at home I would have loved it. I thought it was an awesome game move. You're sticking up for your ride or die still. As we know, ride or die is still something it's very important in this game, but they don't know that technically. I would have loved if Chauncey did that.
I would have liked it.
I think in that case, you have to be really ballsy in your attitude towards it. Like I could see a Bananas back in the day or an Evan back in the day. I feel like those people were willing to throw challenges and not care about repercussions or people's opinions. I feel like people really do care about people's opinions now, and he is working on a team, so he has to deal with the flack from his team if he intentionally loses.
But I don't think they would have known in this case, Jenna. That's my point, I guess.
I think
like,
no
one would have known if Chauncey would have had to tell us in a confessional type situation. Just so you know, I purposely threw and he could have done the math for us. He said, "There's only 3 girls on that team. She has a 33% chance of being safe. No thanks. I'm not taking those chances on my girl." We would have loved it. Because I loved their relationship more and more every episode. You could tell they really like each other. Amber's actually older than him. Did you all know that?
That's
that Chauncey's
fun. I just saw that too. Like
years.
10 years. Like she's 34 and he's 23.
Is it that much? I thought it was only like 4 years, but is it that much?
No, he's 23 and she's 34.
That's 11 years now? No, it's that much. I'm looking.
That's where I was like, that is a fun fact.
I knew that she was older. I didn't think the age gap was that much.
Yeah, I mean, he might be.
Well, I guess to your point, Dan, my interpretation is I just don't really think that that's Chauncey's personality. Like, I don't think he has it in him to kind of like snake his team. But the thing is, it is a game of ride or die. And if you're in a position like Amber and Chauncey, who are talking about marriage and kids, and Amber and Casey, who it does not seem like they're breaking up anytime soon. It seems like they're in it for the long haul. I guess you could look at it from the perspective of, as long as one of us wins, it becomes our money. You know,
absolutely.
If you're in the final, I'm kind of basically in the final, and not even literally like the twist that TJ is now implementing, just in the terms of money. Like if you win, I win. So,
and you know what I was thinking about that?
Send your loved one home, especially because you obviously double your chances the longer they're in the game. But if you also need to protect your team in order for you to win, you could think of it as shared money at the end of it.
And you know what kind of sucks? And I was thinking about that during the episode. I was like, there's a lot of teams that like they have a double chance of winning and it doesn't matter. Amber and Chauncey, Nani and Casey. And I'm thinking like, oh, like they have double, like, is that fair too? Like, enough of this. Like, they're guaranteed to share the money if they win. And I'm like, I don't remember that ever being a thing on the challenge because they were all, obviously they were all younger and none of them were all wifed up or hubbied up that much. You know what I mean? Like, now it's like,
I remember there's been times like old school days with like Brad and what's her name, where it was like, if you win, we win.
But wait, were they on the show at the same time though?
Yeah, they were on shows and
it was
on
Brad and Tori, right?
Brad and Tori. It was like, listen, we want to buy a kid. Also, I remember, but there's been a few things.
Because I just remember times where it's like, oh, I'm Brad. I'm Brad. I'm here. Tori's back at home. We want to build a life. Or Wes, when Wes was dating Johanna. Oh, I'm Wes. I want to put a ring on Johanna's thing. I don't remember them ever being like together, like, oh, we're doing this together. We're gonna make double money or whatever.
No, it was like Inferno or one of those fun ones.
I feel like it's more than ever now, though. There are more chances now, though, nowadays, where they're like these couples, especially this.
Yeah, and Zach and Jenna. We've seen a Zach and Jenna where it's like, we want to have a bit, and there's been a few like this where it's been, and I don't mind that, where it's like,
yeah, I get. There's a lot of people that I hear that don't like it, that are over couples being on the show together. They think it's kind of unfair. I don't mind as long as it does feel deserved. Like if the win feels deserved. For example,
for sure. We all wanted good
to death about when Casey won the final with cheating and how that feels like, well, that feels shitty. That feels like
I'll take the last really where we drink water with CT.
Yeah, it feels like she got rewarded.
Right. That was yeah, that's all it was. Yeah.
I know.
By the way, Chauncey is 23, Amber's 32, so it's a 9-year difference, but still legit. That's legit age.
I mean, she looks like she's 22, so
no, I'm not hating on it. No, I'm not hating on it.
No, it was a big surprise. It's like I saw someone posted that. And
I didn't realize it was that big of a gap. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like she's 2 years older. It was, I was like, that's significant, but
yeah,
and it's just a number, baby.
I almost feel as though the people on Chauncey and Casey's team were almost somewhat expecting them to not go as hard as they could because they were going against Nany and Amber's team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Anissa or Olivia made a comment like they're going really hard and they're sending their significant others in. Like that's kind of
at least Casey had a reason though, because if they lost, then Casey would have a chance to go in. So she could have been. Again, Casey, come on, step up for your girl. Why don't you take one for your girl? Like she already went to the hospital. You didn't go with her. Now you're not gonna put yourself in there, Casey, because her and Chauncey could have been, hey, let's blow this thing. So let's let our girls be safe. They could have both done that.
But let's be real. Who's got a better chance of winning, of taking a final home, Casey or Nany? If it's gonna be one of them,
who's got a bigger chance of winning an elimination, Casey or Nany?
Casey.
Thank you. So maybe Casey's blown it today and then gone in.
That's a 50-50 verse. That's what I'm saying.
And there's more girls on that team. So Casey still had she only had a 25% chance to go in.
I mean, I don't really know. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other about, I don't think that Casey and Chauncey should have, or dare I say, either of them are like the strategic masterminds to think it through the way you did, especially not in the moment. Like Wes, we saw him telling us all the time on All Stars, like, I'm not trying to win this because that puts a target on my back. Wes often said that he was like not going as hard as he could. And he's like, watch, I will this time and I'll win. I don't know. Remember,
I just think like if I'm Chauncey, I'm like, it's a female day. And if I see Stacey on the other side of that, like my little Stacey, she's so small. I'm like, I don't want to. I would have 100%. I know what I would love to be. I never will be asked to be on the challenge, but I would do things like this on a regular. Like you just gotta I'm like Devin, like overthinks everything. He does a really good job of it. I might not be as good as him at stuff, but I would be thinking about these things, and I would totally have blown that thing without them. None of them would have known, and I would have gone. I would have been given a show for the audience. Jenna loves this. I would have been a big show for the audience. Hey, just so y'all know, you might not believe me, but I promise you, I blew that on purpose. I'm saving my girl. Ha 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 to everybody else. Now you guys enjoy your popcorn at home. I'm giving a show for the audience.
Everyone's really nice on the show to each other now. I mean, we saw a team literally help an opponent. I think they're all.
Jenna, that's so that's garbage. I can't believe we saw that tonight. I'm still mad about it.
But I think, Dan, the lights are on. You're a rookie. Stacey's already built her legacy and won some challenges.
Well, she's already won a whole thing. She's won a championship.
She's won two. Right. And this is your chance to make your mark. And you are not the smartest, but this is what you've got. You are strong and you are this. You're going to let your legacy, your time on the spotlight fail, so Stacey, who's already won, maybe doesn't go in. I mean, I don't know. I think
you're also letting me know now that Stacey's not a rookie and she is Amber B. She has Amber B's credentials. Yeah, I guess as Chauncey,
and you're the bride or die that's not been taken too serious. It's your time to sort of show
and
yourself.
In hindsight, Amber B got safe. She pulled the safe dagger tonight. Chauncey not only won and secured. I mean, we already knew Chauncey was strong though, but whatever. He not only did that, but he also was able to save Amber by accident.
The little man under the table fed Amber the right. It's
like
well, I'm gonna draw this one.
We don't know that, but all
the
right.
thing on this Bungee game though, they, like you said, Dan, they've done this for so many seasons, and it never makes it more like understandable to me of how they can succeed at this. Like this one just has me completely all in a pretzel. Like, how do you win this? I feel like it's so grueling.
But you like it, right? Because I think it's a really good challenge.
Grab the other person's body.
You got to climb up the other person and hope they have good enough strength.
Yeah. You can't get close enough just by digging in the sand.
I'm always like, wow, I would be so toast at this.
Right. It definitely looks difficult for sure. But you both I love the Bungee challenge. I think it's a really fun. I'm glad they keep bringing it back.
Yeah, it's always a tough one. It's always interesting to watch, but it doesn't always kind of feel that way, that they're always just sinking their hands in the sand or the dirt and just trying to like out endure the other person.
I want to see them do like other versions of it, which they have. Don't they have the one where it was team, they had to go against each other?
Yes.
That was a cool
they've
one.
Done it three-way where
they did the three-way one. So like again, props to them for this is like a good one that we've never complained about before, and they do keep bringing it back. Again, this one we've kind of seen before, but again, come up with another version of it because I'm down for it. I'm ready to see more of the Bungee.
It is good because it's just like
I love a good strength and endurance, like fight and like dig deep, get into your mental game and achieve those goals that are so hard to do. I mean, that looked rough tonight.
It's crazy, like where Chauncey was saying, it's a weird feeling to be like physically giving something everything you have and not moving.
That's
like
weird,
I was like, God, that must be like awful. It's like I don't know what to do now. Like I'm not moving.
With it.
Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. That would No, for some reason, something that sounds like it wouldn't be that fun to watch is always
It's always fun to watch. Yeah. It's always fun to watch. You want to see people overcome things like that. So I think that's definitely something behind it there. Interrogations next, Amber, Mariah, Nany. Those are our three. That's it. We're getting down to very low numbers here. People having to go into this thing. I have nothing on the interrogation, but please tell if you have anything. Go ahead. I have nothing about it.
I liked that Amber for once wasn't like, I don't know. She was like, I think Mariah.
She gave her reasoning for the other people. Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. And they haven't really another relationship that we never saw develop, but that there seems strong is Amber B and Nany seem to have gotten close. This season, it's like I don't want to see Nany. That's like seeing me go and all that stuff. Again, we didn't see it, but okay, cool. So I guess they're close friends. I do think it was Mariah's time to go in. I mean,
100%. Yeah,
totally. You can't just keep avoiding elimination.
I'm glad they made her competitor. I'm glad that she got the majority of the votes for sure. And then look, there's two people. Someone else has to go against her. So whatever happened after there, I didn't care. But I was definitely happy to see Mariah go in and have to do something. And I'm sorry, but Mariah had a rookie slip up, but she won that. I mean, Nany lost technically as far as
let's talk. Well, also,
I mean, we'll get into it. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump ahead there. I wasn't even planning on saying that.
No, it reminded me though of Emmanuel when he had done so great on his rookie season, and then he was voted into that elimination at the end. Remember, it was that endurance, like jumping over.
Thing. It was a jumping thing
with that other guy who's good at everything, and he.
Who was that? Who is he? Who do you go against?
The French guy or Spanish guy, really good looking. That was
the one that learned football from being on the show.
Yes.
What the heck was his name? Oh my God! Did he have long hair? No.
Yeah, he had long hair. No, not the guy who learned football.
Yeah,
they taught him how to play football or something. I swear that's a thing.
He watched another team and then figured out how to play. He was a Jordan. He was like really good at everything.
What was his name?
I don't know.
Name, but I do remember. Yeah.
I want to call him Brad. I don't know. What is he?
I want to call him. He'll never be on the show again. Yeah.
He probably should, but I guess they didn't call him, or maybe he doesn't want to do it
no
anymore.
way he's ever going to be on the show again.
I mean, he didn't have a lot of personality, but he was really good at things and he was good looking. So no one on that show that was a rookie that wasn't Emmy or Emmanuel really got any sort of, like, unless you were CT's partner or involved dating Tori. I mean, none of those people really got to shine. So we don't remember his name, and he was one of the best on the show. So.
He lasted for a very long time. Yeah, that's insanity that we do not know. Someone will tell us in the comment section. Thank you so much ahead of time. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, it's just a testament to those people didn't really get enough care. Like, we don't care about them. We never did. So.
Go ahead, Jenna. You were going to say something.
The elimination was amazing start to finish, but I love the way that it even kicked off with Amber's dramatic performance of picking a sword. I loved it because it completely resonated with me. Like, making any decision when there's only two paths you can take is truly the absolute hardest thing to do, because whatever decision you're going to make, it's going to be the wrong one, is how I look at it. It's like, no matter which one I pull, it's not going to be safe. So she's going back and forth. And Anise is like, and the most dramatic performance goes to. But in my head, I'm like, but I get it. She's not trying to be dramatic. She truly doesn't know which one to pull, because she knows it's probably not going to be the safe one. And somehow she pulls the safe, and it's just great.
This is called overthinking the situation. And I'm like, okay, Amber, hurry up. Like, I don't hate Amber B, but she does these things that piss me off. Like helping Fessy or suggesting the help for Fessy.
I get it.
Taking 8 hours to make a 50-50 chance to say, it doesn't matter. Just pick one. You're going to be all right. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway.
I actually have come to quite like Amber B as a fan and a viewer. I like her, but these are the reasons people don't like her. And if I was on the show with her, I would not like her. Like, gets whiny
because I understood it. I feel like it's real. It's real to not know what the hell sword you're going to take. Pam, I bet
you just do it. I get it, and I like her, but totally understand. It's back to the Kendall situation for me, where Kendall would, I feel like, be the same way. Like, I just don't know. And it's like, we don't care that you don't know, pick one. Yeah, Amber's a little annoying. I mean, I like her, but I like her a lot, but I understand why people don't like her.
Amber B, she might be the most interesting character for me this season, as far as one episode I like her, one episode I don't like her. Because I have those characters every season where I'm like, okay, this episode, and I keep switching back and forth throughout the season. Not like per season, because I've done that too, where I like a character one season, I don't like him another season. But Amber, like every other episode, I'm like, and like even like parts of episodes, like her and Chauncey's relationship, I love that when they were talking in the room and she's like, look, don't worry about it. You had to do what was right for you. I love her supporting her man like that. But then she tells them to help Fessy. I don't like that. Then you take 8 hours. I like the drama of that, but I'm like, all right, the drama's there. Good. You made some drama for me. Now she still can't make it. So they had to go to commercial break and then come back and she's still there doing it. Like, that's when you know it's like, make a decision already. But
yes. Yeah. I really have come, I didn't dislike her. She's clearly a nice person, but now I really like her. Seeing her with someone, these people treat her like shit, like the Big Brother people. Seeing her with someone who likes her and has her back, aka Chauncey, has really let her come out a little bit, because I think she responds. I don't have the words to like verbalize what I'm seeing, but I think she approaches everything with a kind of nervous energy, because she can feel that she's the bottom of the barrel, which she is. So is it her fault? I don't know. The dynamics are not good with the Casey, those people and her. And I think having Chauncey and being on a team with Nani and getting close with her and performing well has done a lot for her confidence. So she's a little less like snivelly.
She's more unbothered. Good. She cares about more important stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Can we talk about them bringing out TJ's wife? Because
we have to.
I really couldn't get behind it.
It's a huge talking point. I wrote it down, and we need to speak about Roxanne. I was hoping that you ladies might have some idea of why they would do this. They said it was because it was a female elimination and she wanted to support the females. They bring her out of nowhere. All right, now Roxanne does say something as she leaves. After the elimination is over, Roxanne says this. Roxanne says, ride or dies, stick together, see ya, and then she walks off. Now, was that purposely done to try to give them a hint? Like, okay, I know your ride or dies on a separate team and you think that you're on these new teams now, but Roxanne literally says, ride or die, stick together, and then she leaves.
I don't know.
I think that Roxanne was visiting set, and they're like, hey, why don't you just have her come on for the elimination? She's here. She's on vacation.
Sitting around.
She's visiting you, TJ. Made no sense. Please, in the comment section below, tell us why you think is Roxanne going to be if Roxanne's the new host next season because TJ retires, we know now why.
No, I think we're speaking for the people. I think everyone feels exactly this way. Like, we don't want to shit talk TJ's wife, who was certainly lovely and didn't detract from the show, but why?
But how about this, though? They cut to a shot in the middle of the elimination to a very close-up of super awkward shot, right, Jenna? Like, it felt like out of place. It felt like, was the camera even there during the elimination, or they make the shot later and then edit it in? Like, it made no sense. Like, a cameraman ran up. You tell me a cameraman was next to them the entire time, like waiting for that one line? Like, I don't know how they edited this thing together.
Terrible decision. Is that what you're?
It's like her solving the words after a horrible strategy or whatever he said.
But then, either, by the way,
then Mariah and Nani both started using that same strategy. So I was like, well, okay, what's this about?
I mean, okay, let's break this down. So the thing was, you pull and a wall goes up a little bit and you're seeing a jumble of letters, and ideally
it was a word scramble. They could have given them a piece of paper and a pen and had them do it, but they had to make it fancy with the whole pull up a thing. It was word scramble.
Sure.
That's all it was.
No, I liked it. I know, but I liked that you had to pull up the thing because you.
And obviously they had to make it more of a challenge based thing.
Yeah.
But at its heart, it's word scramble.
It's a word scramble. And I love Casey is like, now what you guys don't know about Nani when she like unscrambles the word unite, it's like, oh my God, you know.
I have so much to say about Casey in a little bit. I cannot wait to talk about
it. But Casey's like, now you guys don't know this about Nani, but she's an amazing writer. So for someone who looks at words all day, this is a sin for her. And it's like,
and she technically lost. Lady. So whatever. I guess she's not that great of a writer.
She really technically lost. All right. Well, you say
no. I want Jenna to say what she wants. Jenna, are we ready for the teas yet? When's this teas coming?
We're ready for the teas.
Do the tea.
So 2 things. They're both tweets from Mariah. So as I've stated in the past, LOL, I say I don't like to pay attention to social media or read the internet until after we do the review, but I'm breaking all my rules and I just like couldn't help but go to Mariah's Twitter.
It's making for a great after show.
Jenna.
So Mariah tweeted out about helping during this elimination, and we've seen people help people handedly in the past. But I guess for this elimination, production had told the other contestants in the stands, don't help this time. Nobody help each other. Because think about,
well, it's like Wheel of Fortune. You can't yell out dinosaur. Like, you can't cheat. Like, that's cheating.
Well, it's also kind of hard because they could hear. How are you going to whisper to one side, hey, the words unite? The other one's going to hear it anyways, right? Is that what they're...
Well, with the other ones helping is like, try moving to the left. Do this. This would be the answer. You can't. That's cheating. That's not saying stay there longer or go low. That's helping. It's like grip higher. Maybe if you try swinging, that is giving your tips from this would be the answer. You can't, it's 5. Like, you can't. Okay.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Exactly. So this one would be completely dead giving it away. So I guess production had said no more helping. And Mariah said that Casey did start to help Nani. So she was helping during the elimination. And then Jordan basically was like, really? Like, Casey's helping Nani. So then Jordan started helping Mariah. So to counteract Casey helping Nani, Jordan stepped in and started helping Mariah, which is really cool. So that's point 1, is that no helping. And
they didn't show it. They didn't show us any of that, by the way.
They didn't show. They did a good job cutting around it or minimizing the mics. I don't know. We would have never known. They did a great job.
Right.
Second thing is Mariah tweeted out that when she was spelling the last word, which was friendship, she was putting friendship on the board. And as she's putting the letters on, other letters to other words started falling off of the board and into the sand. So she had already spelt devotion correctly. Ooh, but during writing friendship, part of her devotion letters fell off. So in a frenzy, she just started putting devotion back together to hit the buzzer. And it was spelled incorrectly the second time around. So technically, again, why we're saying she really did win. But, you know, what I like about her tweet, she's saying, but that's still on me. I was sloppy. I didn't check my work. So Nani is the winner. So she's not trying to say like, I actually won.
Well, I want to go
to do after the elimination because they seem like a sore loser. She basically was just saying like, I actually did spell it right, and then it fell off.
I don't know. Okay, I need to rewatch it a third time now because I went back because that's my conspiracy. I went back and rewatched it. You all right, Pam?
It looks like there's like a fire outside. Yeah, I'm fine, but I'm like, where's all that smoke coming from? But I think it's just like a laundry steam. I don't know. It looks like something's on. There's smoke on like a neighbor's, whatever. Anyway.
I went back and rewatched it, and I went back to, she might have been already spelling friendship, which I should have gone back even more to when she spelled devotion. But the O and the I were already mixed up at that moment when I reversed the tape. I don't know if it was always OI, like you're saying it wasn't, Jenna, but now I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it a third time because we can watch her most likely, unless the edit is really good and they're trying to keep us from knowing the truth. I want to rewatch it and see if she spelled devotion the right way the first time because I did go back and check. I was like, I wonder if that's BS. And it did look like it was spelt wrong. When I rewound it, it looked like it was spelt wrong the original time. But maybe if I rewind even more, I will see it spelt correctly. But I do want to look for that to see if that's true because I did it once already without even knowing what you just said with that tease. So.
Okay. So here's my situation with this. I wouldn't even be salty about Mariah technically or not technically winning. I would have said, oh, it was just so close and whatever. Except for the way that everyone acted when Nany won. It was like, your mom is watching. It's like she squeaked by beating a rookie, squeaked by the hair of her chinny chin chin. Maybe she won. She didn't put, and everyone's acting like Nany deserves this victory. No one was like humble and like, it was close. Good job. Nany was like, I crushed it. It's like, all right, everybody. Let's relax.
That was one of my takeaways too, Pam. I was like, damn, I feel so bad for Mariah. Mariah hit the buzzer first. And everyone's like, oh no, did Mariah win? You could hear a pin drop. No one hears. All of a sudden, they say, no, actually it was Nany because Mariah misspelled a word. Then it's Super Bowl caliber applause. And the crowd goes wild. I'm like, poor Mariah. Yeah. Like, she is a great competitor and she, like you said, Pam, no one's kind of also giving her credit in this, but it's edited that way. But in terms of the crowd reaction, it felt really sad against her.
Everyone was acting like this was a slam dunk and like
I know
Nany wiped the table with her, and it's like,
and this is why
technicality Nany won, but let's give credit where credit's due to Mariah for really being close and
this is why my only favorite part of the episode was the challenge because the way that this went down, it didn't sit right with me, and I was like, this isn't it. Just I like that it was it was super close, which I liked, and it looked like it really was close, and there wasn't a lot of editing for the closeness of it. Look, they were both throwing friendship up at the same time, and I was like, this is going to be great. Then again, were we told as an audience that they had to hit the buzzer at the end? I don't remember that.
DJ had to say hit the buzzer, and they were like, check, and no one
usually it's a yelled check, Pamela. Exactly. So I was waiting for them to yell check, which I think they both yelled check. And I was like, no, I yelled it first. And then she's like, hit the buzzer.
Mariah
I'm like, we're supposed to hit a buzzer? Like, so I didn't like the way it was handled. I was like, this is, wait, what? I love that it's close, but the way that it was managed or told to us as a viewer to know, like if I had known that they had to hit a buzzer at the end and they both put friendship up, I would have been screaming at my TV, hit the buzzer, but I couldn't. I was like, wait, when are they going to check it? Or like, wait, why isn't TJ with his blowhorn saying, that's wrong, or boom, you're done.
It was a little bit of a ninja Laurel situation where the end is kind of unsatisfying, whichever way you fall on.
But it could have been so good, which I was so disappointed by it all. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, listen, it's not Nany's fault that Mariah's words fell down and then Mariah, she ended up having a misspelling. Like, it still is a win for Nany. It is. Like, I actually think.
No, I agree.
She's still on the show. Yeah, it's a win.
Mariah didn't spell the word correctly. That's a loss. That's a rule. You have to spell the words correctly. So it's not like Nany should also be like, you actually lost. Mariah won. Like, no, Mariah spelled the word wrong. It's not Nany's fault that the letters fell off. Like, think about in the duel. For two people did this. Remember, I don't know if you remember this, but there was like a bandana around a clip that was on the ground, and you had to unclip the bandana.
Brad versus CT. They had the issue.
And Beth, both of them ripped it out of the ground instead of unclipping it, so they lost. But it was like, if you really think about it, they were the stronger ones who pushed whatever the cannon away from their opponent. So really, they won the more important part of it, but they pulled it out. So it's a technical issue, but it's still a loss.
it happens in life, in the courtroom, and on a challenge. It happens sometimes where you're not happy with the thing. There's a technicality that made it the fact, and I think that's what we saw. Like, yes, Nany won. I don't begrudge her the win, but it was on a technicality, and it was very close. So the fact that the world was acting like Nany smashed her like a bug was like.
I'm rewatching.
They were pretty hard to unscramble.
I'm rewatching right now. They show a very quick clip of Mariah putting up devotion, and it looks like the O and her original thing is in the wrong place. I can't guarantee that the edit is really quick on it, but it looks like she has an O, and then you can't see the other side. However, who was that? I gotta see. That one, devotion spelt right, but that could be Nany's side. They both have their hair tied back the same way.
Yeah, we don't know. So this is what Mariah's saying. This is from her
I know it's hard to tell.
This is her words. Just yeah,
that's Nany's side. Nany's side, devotion spelt right. They're back to, of course, they're not showing Mariah's thing at all. She's struggling to find a C right now for her letter. Remember, that was kind of a little dramatic moment where she couldn't find the C.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I started to feel a bit of the viewer anxiety of watching a tight race.
They're purposely showing, now watching back though, they're purposely showing like Nany's board every time. And Mariah, they're purposely showing. No, she has the word devotion spelt wrong from the start. There's an O there. I just saw it again. So I don't know if Mariah is full of it, but I see the O multiple times. Please, in the comment section below, go rewatch it and tell us if there is actually some drama with what Mariah said with it falling off. Because to me right now, it looks like devotion is spelt wrong from the get-go. But again, it's such a quick edit that maybe I'm misseeing it.
Yeah, I mean, Mariah is a good speller. We saw it in trivia. She said it herself. So I don't know. We weren't there. Yeah, I don't know what is fact.
For the moment,
all right, I've got my Casey clip of the week, or just comment of the week about Casey.
Share.
All right, you guys are all right. I think we can get to it right now. I am so tired of Casey being a romantic lead every week. They're trying to push her as this romantic lead with Nany, and let me just tell you why. They keep showing the confessionals of her, and she's all hyped up about her girl. She's like, and you bring my girl, and I'm so glad my girl's coming back to me. And if you notice, right after she got herself hyped up to say this like love for Nany, you'll see her like come out of character and just look to the side like this. Like she's not, Pam, that is what resting she did. Go watch her confessional.
RBF, resting boring face.
I just think they're hyped. They're like, okay, Casey, now we want you to say how much you love Nany, and go. Thank God my girl came back to me. Did we get the shot? Did we get what we needed? I'm telling you, it's really happening. You guys are going to think I'm full of it. Oh, Dan, you just hate Casey. I'm telling you, this is what I'm seeing. Now, when it comes to Amber B and Chauncey's relationship that they're showing on this show, you could tell it feels so much more natural, real, and not scripted. Sorry, but that's what I'm seeing.
1,000,000%. This is back to so do you feel sad your brother left conversation? Like, Amber and Chauncey's,
but maybe that's just what they're doing with Casey all the time, Pam. Like every time they need, hey, Casey, we need you to have some energy for anything. Like, hey, your brother went home. Give us some energy about why you actually give a crap that he went home. Hey, I'm telling you right now, she is not a good reality show person.
Not good for this, and I'll tell you why. Because I loved her on her Big Brother season, because she was a part of this alliance that was kind of good and dominant, like the leftovers that you want. She was best friends with Tyler and Angela, who were in a love triangle. So the beauty of Casey was that she was the chill one. Like, well, all this competition and craziness is going on. There's a falling in love happening. She's a part of that sort of, because she's really close with them. She's good at the competitions, and there was enough drama. Like, she's likable because she's the low energy of everyone's high key energy. So trying to bring this thing out of her, it's like the good quality of her is that she's low key. That's why she's likable. She's good at things. She's not dramatic.
I think they're really pushing for her to be this thing that she's not. It's like, all right, well, let her be herself. Oh, wait, no one wants to watch that either. It's like, well, why don't invite? But now she's a champion. I got to bring a champion back. It's like, God damn, how are we going to get rid of her on this show? We almost did a couple times with COVID and stuff. Like, unfortunately, I don't want that to happen. But like, she was good. Then they brought her back. They brought her and Kenny back on the show.
Is that this seems like a lot of work for production to pull anything usable out of her.
I agree,
she's
Pam.
Barely in it, so I have a feeling.
Jenna, I feel like you have a different thought, though. so we'll get to you as well.
No, I'm on the same page where I just feel like she's not really a reality TV person. I didn't watch her Big Brother, so I can't.
I didn't
really
either. I kind of want to watch it just to see if there's something more there.
It's just she's likable for her lack of drama. It's like the things that we're complaining about are likable because in a house of craziness where everything's being stirred up, she plays the competition. She's honest. She's, down to earth. She's friendly with people. I mean, it comes off a lot more enjoyable in that setting than it does in this, where again, it's not necessarily her fault, but they're trying to build a story around her, and it ain't happening.
Right, they are. Yeah,
she's one of the only people in a love romance. And she's still phenomenally unentertaining. So I think that they might, because of how hard it is to try and get anything out of her, maybe they might be done casting her for a little while. I honestly think so. And she might even be.
I don't know. I'm curious if they even really. I don't know. It's kind of hard to know what to listen to online because everybody is always tweeting and commenting and redditing that the producers or the casters of the show. It might just be better for them maybe to not listen to the noise because there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of trolls.
And no matter what decision they make, you're right, Jenna, there's going to be someone that doesn't want them to make that decision. I get it. But I think that there's an overwhelming majority of people just like, Casey's boring. Like, not that right. I'm sure she's a fine person to have a conversation with in real life, but she's boring. The word is boring. Right. It's not like she's saying like she's something worse than that.
Right. She's not divisive. Everybody agree. It's not like some people love her and some people hate her. Right. And she makes big moves. I think unanimously, no one gives a shit about it.
I mean, and they like her so much or whatever. They like her so much. They let her bring Kenny on, who's just as boring as she is. Like, well, what a waste of a partnership there.
I think they tried again to be like, let's try and make something of this. Maybe a family dynamic will be interesting, or maybe I just think it's a fail all around. I think in her first season, when she was good, her first season, I think she was moderately interesting because she was sort of new and she stirred some things up, and Nany had feelings for her, and Bailey, there was a little more interest. Bailey was upset that they weren't friends.
Well, she was also, Casey had a girlfriend off the show, but then she was also, wasn't she making moves on another, wasn't she like cheating on?
Nany no, she wasn't. Okay.
I don't remember. I'm not saying she was.
A lot more interesting.
But she did bring some drama with that, where it's like, well, Casey's kind of flirting with someone she probably shouldn't be flirting with somebody when she has a girl. I think it was something like that. Yeah.
Yes. But that's it. And she almost won, and she hurt her ankle, and Fessy was a terrible partner, that it seemed like this was a great casting choice. And then just as time's gone on and she's in a stable relationship with a cast member that they clearly don't want their shit on TV. It's like a mature, real relationship. It's not like some hookup where they're screaming and drunk and fighting and then they're making up and fucking.
Listen, I love the OGs, but I think there's something to be said that they're all like, so Chauncey's 24, so that's very young. But outside of that, they're all like 30s. Now Banana's 40. Like, they're not reality TV people that you are interested in the dramatics of them really anymore, Yeah. So if we want like craziness and real world type of drama and fights and like old school Jersey Shore and stuff, it's not going to come from these guys anymore.
Right. And if it does, it's just sad. So it's like we don't want to see.
You're in your 30s and still having fights, right? I mean, it's like,
right. I mean, I think like I don't watch Survivor, but I know those are older people and it works, an Amazing Race sometimes. So I guess if they're going for, it needs to find itself, because it's trying to become a real competition show, but giving us these people we care about and the situation.
They're going to have, I mean, they've been trying to bring in some rookies that would stick for years, and they haven't really been able to find any. And the rookies that have stuck, like Casey, she's wifed up now, so she's not, and she never brought drama really to begin with. So it's like, gosh, you really need to get like 20 young people in there, but like they got to have fun personalities, and I beg you to, I know you don't want to do this because you want people with Instagram followings. I beg you to find people that have like, I don't know, 1,000 followers, like something low on the low end. Like,
any New Jersey bar ever on a Saturday night and have at it.
But I think they're also worried about them coming in and being maybe a little politically incorrect and then getting in trouble with the left side. I think they are.
Listen, I understand everybody should be learning and have sensitivities and be tolerant and accepting, but it's also reality that some people are not, and I think
I agree. I think they need to show,
it's like a disservice to not show that too, right?
Or a dating, or Are You on the One, and edit it and let us fill in the blank. Like people from that show that get a following. It's like,
I love you just called it Are You on the One? Are you on the one? Are you on them? Are you or are you not on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think they're doing a new season of Are You the One, Pamela? Aren't they doing a new season?
Yes, I heard tell they were. So hopefully they'll bring.
But it's a new. They're doing the host is actually the girl from that was on Catfish with Neve the last couple seasons.
Oh, Rachel. Is it Rachel Lindsay?
Whatever her name is, I don't know.
The Bachelorette. Rachel Lindsay,
the one that was on. Do you watch the TV show Catfish with Neve, right?
I haven't. I mean, like I know it exists. What
Schulman?
about Max?
He got a new host.
Max's guy.
It used to be Max, but now they got a new one. I'll look up Rachel Lindsay, but I don't know if that's it.
I think it's Rachel.
No, not Rachel Lindsay.
She was on Ghosted or something.
No, this isn't Rachel. I'll show you. It's Neve Catfish co-host. Yeah. Anyways, did you see did you watch the teaser for next week?
I did not because it spoils too much for me.
It's pretty good. Cammy Crawford, Kamie Crawford.
No, Cammy Crawford.
Starts with a K. It makes sense that she'd get this gig after being on another MTV show.
Okay, speaking of another MTV show, can I trash talk / make my suggestion for a Patreon?
Yeah, but what is...
Oh, hold on. Flashes because you're blurred.
I know, but you can see in the flash.
I can't quickly. Yeah, she looks pretty. I don't know her.
I know. All right, I'll go on with what was this MTV thing you want to tell us about?
Have you guys watched? Well, Dan, you record it, so you must.
I haven't looked at my recordings.
This is my new most delightful hate watch, Siesta Key. Have you ever watched that?
My sister was into it for a while, I think.
Oh my God. These people are all of them atrocious. Like they are the worst people you've ever seen. They make the people on like The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise look like empathetic rocket scientists. These people are horrible. And it's so funny because the show, I want to literally just do like a type to text of the dialogue because nothing happens ever. The entire show is like, they'll like mug with music in the background and give each other looks and they'll edit it to make sort of it seem like a story's going on.
Right, they're editing like looks at each other. Sure, I've seen that.
Right, like looks like there's no words. I'm like, what's going on?
They do that with Laguna Beach. Laguna Beach, they do that all the time with Laguna Beach when it was on. Where it's like, are they even in the same room giving each other these dirty looks? Like, we don't know, but they would give close-up shots of them being mad, right?
But that, like, they went to high school together, so the drama was sort of real. I think this is why I can't get into the Real Housewives. It's like, here's 10 girls that don't really know each other, but we're gonna put them in the same bar, and it'll be like, why'd you say that about me to her? Like, they don't really have that much interaction. I don't know. But it's so horribly, wonderfully bad. Like, it's so bad that it's fun. Because they're also, like, awful people. Like, they're mean. They're really mean. Like, I don't know if I can sit down and actually watch it. It's pretty awful. But then I'm like, wait, why is Julie? Because then you're like, this is also the condition that I have sometimes on The Bachelor, where the men... It's so funny because Luke came home and was like, is that guy like 50 or 25? And I'm like, there's like 2 guys in it. And one of them legit looks like a spoof of like the old guy in the boy band. Like, I'm going to put on trendy clothes, but like, I'm old. And he's like, yeah, me and Lexi might be breaking up. But it's just so funny and bizarre.
So you're trying to convince us, which I don't think you'll be able to do. You're trying to convince us to cover this on Patreon.
So no, not cover it for Patreon. I want to literally get like the transcript and we can, it's like,
we'll do a table read.
You want to do a table read of Siesta Key?
I don't know.
Well, I can play the 2 guy parts. There you go. I can play
you can do the 2 guy parts, and then I'll be the girl. It's like, you're not a good enough friend.
I have seen some Siesta Key, and it like I can't even begin to allow myself to. I don't know. It's just so like clearly not reality TV. No reality TV is, but it's one of those that's so clearly not. That's like, I almost just feel like, why are they even trying to like pander to certain people that.
No,
like, it's almost like insulting, you know?
Well, it's interesting because I'm like watching it, like who wants to see these, especially MTV, these like awful, spoiled.
I know, and I'm like,
Tuesdays.
they come from money, and now we're just giving them more money. Like, I just can't.
Because
but I'm not gonna do this.
The main guy, the main guy in Siesta Key got kicked off for racist comments. Now there's a new him. I don't remember that guy's name, but this is the new him. He's the main guy, and his parents own Scripps Network. Have you heard of like the Scripps Network?
Yeah.
Basically, they say, I'm like, who is this asshole? His name's Sam. And I'm like looking him up. And they're like, Sam's worth $12 million. And I'm like, for what? And then it's like, well, that's his net worth of the house his parents bought him, the cars his parents bought. So they make it like he's independently wealthy.
No, but his parents come to
because there's some things in his name. But these people are all just, there's like one or two that aren't completely horrible, but most of them are so hateful that you have to think like they're mean to each other. They're mean to I love the Bachelor people. I wind up falling for them and being like, oh, she's sweet. She might be a little ditzy, or even the challenge people. These people, I'm like, they're awful. Who wants to see?
Well, enjoy watching that on my DVR, Pam. I'm not watching it.
That are horrible to each other, and that's what it is.
There's the New Jersey Shore coming out, Jenna. You could be interested in that.
I don't really. I haven't watched the Family Vacations, so
it wouldn't matter. They don't. You pick up real quick on like where everyone's at. Oh, look, the situation's got a kid now. Oh, Dina's got 2 kids now. But I don't. They're doing like a world tour. They're like, I didn't watch the only season I didn't watch was last season. It looks
fun. I should give it a shot. But
it's not good. It's not very good. But it's not good.
Okay,
it's watchable.
You don't want to reenact Siesta Key. Like I literally want to get the transcript.
Pamela, I have zero interest in everything you just said. Yeah, I'm like actually like I can't believe that's on MTV. I can't believe it's that mean. And
the conversation is like, my boyfriend just bought you a new butt.
Okay.
Well, this is the plot. This is the.
No, I mean I'm listening. Yeah.
So Sam, the rich guy, has his best friend Jordana living with him, but he buys her a new ass, even though they're just friends. But he has a girlfriend that he's dating, and she's like, "You're living with my boyfriend, and he bought you a new butt, sir. Okay. That's not treating me the way I should be treated. I need a new butt for our business." Like these are the conversations.
What's that show on Netflix with all the rich Asian people on it? The Bling show or something? It's like it's Stacy watches it, and
based on
it did like 2 seasons on Netflix. I watched like Bling Empire. No, not Bling Empire. But it's kind of like it's like I feel like it's like a not as bad as Siesta Key, but it's super drama and things like that. Anyways.
I don't know. These people, I'm like, who? It's not even like they're fun and aspirational. Like I get, or at least the Kardashians are a family. So it's more, I guess it's the Real Housewives audience. It's the same thing, just these horrible people being I don't watch that. The point is,
yeah, it's called Bling Empire. I was actually right. Bling Empire. It's on Netflix.
To me in the comments what the like draw is about these.
Hold on, Pamela. If you like this Siesta Key, I cannot believe you have not on Netflix. Just type in Bling Empire.
Okay.
It's about because you like this. You said this show Siesta Key is about rich people. The same with Bling Empire. They all live in LA and like the Beverly Hills thing or whatever. It's all Asian people.
But I don't like it. I'm not saying.
Well, why'd you binge watch it on my DVR?
Because I did get a morbid fascination with trying to figure out if anyone on the show wasn't atrocious. And there's one girl who's not really on the show anymore.
All right.
That seems like she's not the most horrible person ever. But
all right. Well, did you watch the thing for next week? The next on the challenge or no? Because it looks very dramatic next week. I'm very excited for next episode. Jenna's already frozen, so she's out.
I think she's there. She's just bored. Oh no.
No way. If that is her, she's doing the best job ever.
Doing her Casey. She's just doing her Casey.
She's doing her Casey versus. But we'll see y'all next week. Episode 14 next week. I'm telling you, I saw a lot of drama on this next on the challenge, and we lost her completely. So there you go. For Pam, for Jenna, wherever she is, and for Dan, we'll see y'all next week. The challenge after.
And if you want us to reenact Siesta Key, because I think it would be amazing.
Don't do it. I don't want to do it. So please say no to the Siesta crap key or whatever it is. Bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.